Hey everybody, it's Christina Holloway here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to manage the situation when you find yourself with more experience than your boss. So here's what happened. I have a client who was unhappy at her job. She was working with a bad boss and didn't see a path for career growth. So she started looking for new work and accepted a job at a different company with better money and better benefits, but it was a lower level title than her previous job. She went from senior manager to manager, and she was fine with that. Now she's noticing that her current boss, who was recently promoted to senior manager about 9 months ago, is making some rookie mistakes. So my client wants to know, how can she share her experience and insights with her new boss without coming across as condescending? This is all about managing up. So today we're going to talk about 5 tips to keep in mind as you continue to grow your own career while you build a relationship with an inexperienced boss. Quick disclaimer, this is not about dealing with a boss you think is stupid. A person can be inexperienced and putting in a good faith effort to be a better leader, and you want your expertise to be a reliable resource for that person. If you've already taken the position that your inexperienced boss is also stupid, then you have some bridges to build, and this video is going to help you make some corrections. Real quick, if you enjoy this content and want to learn more about how to make power moves in your career, make sure to follow my channel and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to download your free communication toolkit, which teaches you the 5 ways to communicate with impact and confidence as you build trust, authority, and influence to grow your career. All right, so let's get started. Number 1, respect the position. You may have an inexperienced boss who was promoted for any other reason than qualifications. It could be political reasons, or they had their old job too long and needed to be moved, or it's harmless and they needed to fill the position before they were ready for it. You know, it could be anything. Or like my client, you're working with a level of knowledge that your current boss is still learning. No matter how it happened, you need to be able to respect the position. That's going to help you remove the person from the job, especially if the person is really not that great and there's tension. Always acknowledge that your boss is in a position of authority. That's the name of the game. From there, maintain a respectful attitude towards them. This is about putting on your integrity and professionalism and leaning into your values for respect for the individual. The more you can remove personal opinions about the human in the position, the more likely you'll be able to see that this is a situation that needs development in order to change over time, instead of a person who's in over their head and cannot adapt. Recognize that this boss has been given this title and position, and then recognize that it's important to show professional courtesy. Number 2, establish trust and focus on collaboration. Your inexperienced boss needs to trust that you'll both be able to work together. That boss may be defensive and worried that you'll outshine them. This isn't just about you knowing you have more experience. This is also about your boss knowing you have more experience. It can create a competitive dynamic very quickly, and it's up to you to manage this relationship. Why you? Because you're the one coming in with more experience in the job. You get to set the tone. Establishing trust is important. One of the best ways to do this is to have a meeting with your boss and ask what they have planned for the projects on deck or even the next few months. What are they trying to accomplish, and where do they see you contributing your best work? This is a good way to also find out how they see you. If they're giving you small stuff to do, you can help them understand where you can do your best work without overshadowing your boss or the team in the beginning. Focus on how you can collaborate effectively as a team. When you offer your insights in a constructive and supportive manner, you can begin to show them how your experience will benefit the team and your boss, as well as contribute to the organization's success. Number 3, develop a strong working relationship. Working with an inexperienced boss while you have more expertise means you'll now need to manage that relationship more like a partnership, theoretically. There's still hierarchy and position title, and they can certainly pull rank on you if they feel like it. For this, you want to volunteer to work on some meaty projects and offer your experience as a resource for your boss. Positioning yourself as your boss's right hand could go a long way to creating a positive and collaborative dynamic. You want to build a positive working relationship here, and you want to anchor it on 2 fundamentals: trust and communication. Remember, when you have more experience, the burden's on you to be as professional as possible and to behave in a way that reduces defensiveness and conflict on the team. Start with suggesting regular one-on-one meetings or informal conversations. Be enthusiastic and positive when they share ideas and perspectives, and make sure to be receptive to their feedback and guidance. The thing here is that they do have a perspective that you don't, and it's about the process involved to get to that position within the company. Your inexperienced boss may not have knowledge about the job responsibilities, but they do have knowledge about what it takes to get there. People at a higher level than you always have insight to conversations that are happening when you're not there. They are in closed-door meetings that didn't include you. Understand where your boss can still guide you and give you direction. Number 4, practice effective communication. I'm going to say tip number 4 is the most important. You can do all the other things in this video, but if you really don't understand how to evaluate your boss, understand what motivates them to make certain decisions, and understand where they feel vulnerable in their job, then you won't get far. In order to communicate your ideas and opinions clearly and respectfully, you want to do it in a non-threatening manner with as much mindfulness and awareness as you possibly can. Anchor your contributions on the value they can bring rather than asserting superiority. May I offer a suggestion here? Are you seeking input during this meeting? Because I have some ideas. Are you still looking for feedback, or have you finalized this task? Things not to say. If I were you, I'd do it this way. These are simple decisions. When I had this job, here's how I did it. Or, you're not doing it right. And if you've already said stuff like this, then take a step back. Chill out for a while until you can use some good communication techniques to relieve the tension. Nobody wants to hear that. Active listening is also important. Take the time to understand your boss's point of view and consider their input. You should be able to see what their thought process is as they figure out how to solve a problem or present a solution. Also, make an effort in the beginning to offer your support, feedback, opinion in private at first. You want to test out how your boss responds to unsolicited advice. Once you've developed a mutually respectful relationship, you can assess where it's appropriate to jump in with your input during team meetings and leadership calls. A great way to practice active listening is to parrot or recap the conversation. Let me make sure I understand what you're saying. If I'm hearing you right, your goal is to finalize by next week. Did I get that right? Here's what I heard. What am I missing? I prepared a summary of the talking points to make sure I captured it all. I'll forward it to you. Number 5, seek opportunity for growth. At the end of the day, it is still your career. You may have made a decision to leave another job, and you have a better situation here. You may be working with a boss who's still learning the ropes. Either way, you also need to start figuring out how to build your career experiences so you can continue on your career journey. That means that while you do want to be careful around your boss so as not to create tension in the dynamic, you also want to look at what's next for you in this role and build those experiences. For my client, she's seriously thinking about how long she wants to stay in that role, where she can go from here, and if the job is just a bridge to another position, one with more authority and more in line with her experience and her expertise. Take time to look for opportunities to expand your skill set, take on additional responsibilities, and make sure to demonstrate your leadership potential. Not directed at your boss, but directed at your team, at stakeholders, at the skip level, and at peers. This is all about your professional brand and how you redefine your work presence as being adaptable in any situation while you manage up, down, and across the organization. You can do this. You just need to get your boss's perception of your expertise out of the liability column, he's trying to undermine me, and into the asset column, his work really reflects well on my leadership. Be very conscious of how you show up and interact with awareness and professionalism. And while it's very hard, try to be patient. If you can figure out how to manage your boss and their expectations around your contributions, you'll be able to shine bright without worrying about eclipsing anyone else. All right, so that's it for my video on how to handle a boss who has less experience than you do. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever worked for someone who had less experience than you did. I'd love to hear what you were able to learn from it. Don't forget to download my free communication toolkit, which I provided in the link below. And if you enjoyed watching this video and you found it helpful, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you never miss another video from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.